Howdy, I'm Liz.
And I'm Ralph.
And what are we covering up today, Ralphie?
We are talking about Koorrayn.
Oh, where we are.
Where we are. How long ago did we buy this now?
Oh, geez. It was 2021. Start of the financial year we settled, of course. And it wasn't deliberately a COVID acquisition.
No, we've been looking for quite a few years, actually.
Yeah.
Even while we're up in Queensland and
Yep. And then we found this property and fell in love with it. Like, the location is spectacular.
As you've probably seen in the background of all the videos and so on, it is absolutely spectacular. So what was here? Tell us a bit about what we fell in love with, what we've taken on as well.
Yeah, honestly, when we first drove on this site, and you would have seen some of the views that we've shared with you, but I found it a little bit overwhelming and maybe intimidating, like the height and the topography, but also it was quite bald. It had been farmed for the last however many years, decades and decades, but in the last 12 or so years, a family had it, and they weren't farmers, they were adjusting it and probably just not looking after the land as much as they should. There's a lot of topography here. There's some wild and woolly weather conditions, and the long and the short is that without the vegetation on site, there was erosion, there was weeds.
Landslip.
It needed a bit of TLC. So when we first came here, we thought, well, it's going to be a big job, but we're buckling down and we're signing up for it.
Absolutely. And what are your plans for it then?
Our plans.
Our plans.
You're not getting out of it.
Damn.
Our plans. So I think the first part, and I'll let you talk to this, was really just ensuring we could get around the property and control the water. It's really high rainfall here, and because of the curves of the property,
Other than the last year, which would have been a drought.
Yeah, but because of the sweet curves of the property, there's a lot of water and topography, which results in erosion. So one of Ralphie's first jobs, and I don't think it was a job because he loved it, was getting an excavator and
managing the water. So a lot of the infrastructure was kind of here. It was just repairing the culverts, the spoon drains and so on, and just managing that water flow around the property, with our intention then to start revegetating the property.
And building a track from the bottom to the top of the track. The
Access.
only way we could get here was by the road, or get to the top of the property was by the road.
Look, the track was there. It had just not been sort of maintained for 10 years or so. So it's just getting all the tracks around so we could get to all parts of the property, to manage weeds, to replant, to do all those sort of things.
Well, and that was key, because I think Greening Australia, within the first 6 months or so, we had the good fortune of having a reasonably large revegetation grant with Greening Australia shared with us to re-veg along the Johanna River.
Yep.
Johanna River runs a good stretch of this property's boundary, and again, because the cows have been getting down to it, it had eroded. It was just yielding, and there was a lot of weeds. So that was done. Then Greening Australia's come back and done another tranche of planting on one of the slopes. I think they've put in about
30,000 trees so far, including the river, and then there were about 9,000 trees put in the second lot. And our intention is to, revegetate?
50%.
50%, so almost 50 acres.
And I will say that this is all in native vegetation to the area, and some of it's actually endemic to the area, which means that the seeds have been procured off-site, which is pretty cool.
On-site.
Off-site, on-site to go on-site. Yeah. So, it's a long journey. We've probably done about, 15% of what 20. Let's say 20.
20%.
We've built kilometres of fences as well. So, in the fullness of time, end game, 50% re-vegged, all the fencing complete, to which there's not heaps more to go. The weeds are under control. We're just enhancing that infrastructure.
And we are going to keep stock on here, but a smaller quantity of stock, and look at doing some sort of boutique, stock, and you can follow the story with that and everything else that we're doing here on YouTube and all the other channels that we're on.